A standard baseball game is 9 innings, 27 outs for both teams, 24 outs for the home team if they are ahead after the away team's 27th out. The Mariners, unfortunately, don't seem to play standard baseball games, as for the 18th time this season they've gone into extra innings, including today, going into extra innings against the Chicago White Sox, a team that, for all intents and purposes, the Mariners outclass. The big story today, aside from the Mariners winning by a score of 4-3, is that Josh Naylor exited the game after taking a swing in his first at bat, looking to be injured, and then coming in for a second plate appearance, unfortunately appearing to be too injured to continue in the game and being replaced by Donovan Solano. It is suspected that Dan Wilson will provide us an update in his post-game press conference or later today or tomorrow. We're hoping it's not an oblique strain, as Luke Raley had one of those this year, and it cost him 6 weeks of the season. And we do not want to have something like that with our large trade deadline acquisition, because that would mean the Mariners would need to do something imminently at first base. Overall, today's game was rather low scoring. As the Mariners had a 2-run home run from Randy Arozarena in the third inning, and that was all of the Mariners' offense for a while. It just really, at one point, we got 13 straight Mariners were sat down. It was not great. It was not great when 13 straight Mariners were sat down. J.P. Crawford was the runner on base. It moved the Mariners' win probability up by 17.8% to 77.2%. And then, the top of the fifth, Michael Taylor hit a home run off Logan Gilbert. Okay, whatever. Then Brooks Baldwin hits a homer in the top of the seventh. And then Bizzardo in the top of the 10th throws a wild pitch, and that scores Lenyon Sosa, and Montgomery moves to third, and Curtis Mead to second. Bottom of the 10th, Miles Masterboni hits a sacrifice bunt, and you think, oh, he's out. But the throwing error by Josh Rojas, former Mariner, leads to Randy getting to second and Randy scoring. Randy gets his second um, run of the game. And then Gino scored for the run of the game, the final run of the game in the bottom of the 11th on a Dom Canzone base hit, which moved Mitch Garver to second and Gino home. The White Sox had 3 runs on 7 hits with 2 home runs and 14 total bases, stealing 2. They left 12 on base and committed 2 errors. The Mariners had 4 runs on 6 hits, 1 home run, 9 total bases, stole 2, and left 11 on base. Randy Arozarena, who went 1 for 5 with 3 strikeouts and 2 ribbies, was voted player of the game, adding 6.8% win probability throughout the game. Uh, Randy did score 2 runs. He did unfortunately strike out 3 times. Cal took a 4-pitch walk, which was awesome. That 4-pitch walk ended with Cal at third base being replaced by Miles Masterboni. That was fine because Cal was the designated hitter today. So that's not the end of the world for that. Julio 1 for 5. Josh Naylor 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Donovan Solano struck out once. Cole Young came in and hit a sacrifice bunt. So that was really good for us, knowing that we were able to execute 2 sacrifice bunts today. Absolutely loved that. Dylan Moore struck out. Eugenio Saritz, 3 strikeouts, was the automatic runner, went 0 for 5 and scored the winning run. Jorge Polanco 1 for 3, 2 walks and a strikeout. 3 out of 5 times on base. Garver had a base hit, a walk, and 3 Ks. Dom Canzone struck out once. J.P. Crawford a run, a hit, a walk, and a strikeout. So overall, the Mariners walked 5 times while striking out 16 times. And the problem with that is that there were 16 strikeouts. Now, obviously, the more innings there are, the more times you can strike out. Logan Gilbert had an okay outing, 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. He was at like 90-something pitches, so they pulled him. 94 pitches, so they pulled him early for Caleb Ferguson, who gets the hold. Vargas comes in, blows the save, Spire. Then we close it out with Brash, Mooney, Bizzardo, and then Coar gets the win. He pitched a clean top of the 11th. Isart took the loss, giving up 1 hit, 1 run. It was unearned, walking 1 and striking out 1. Overall, everybody performed worse than I expected to be playing against a Chicago White Sox team that you know that is going to be able to kind of hang in with you because their starting pitching is not the end of the world. It's actually talented and does well. But with our lineup being 9, 10, 11, 12 guys deep, you shouldn't be expecting that the Mariners are going to have people who get 3, 4 base hits in a game. Not that they're going to strike out 16 times in a game. Let's take off the last Let's take off the 10th and the 11th. That moves 2 strikeouts. That's 14 times we struck out in regulation. That's too many strikeouts. 14 times, if we were to strike out that many times every game, that would be 2,268 strikeouts, which would be, I believe, an all time um, record. So this season, the Los Angeles Angels actually lead the league with 1,117 strikeouts. We have 1,038 strikeouts, and that's through 116 team games, meaning that we're averaging 9 strikeouts per game. So a strikeout per inning, which if you're a pitcher is good, but if you're a hitter, it's not a strikeout per inning. So it's something that we've got to work on. We've got to work on cutting down on the strikeouts. And yes, I know Gino was taken away because of the strikeouts, but really it was a salary dump. It's the problem with the Mariners is strikeouts and hitting with runners in scoring position. With runners in scoring position, we went 1 for 11 and we left 11 on base. The only thing that saved us was the White Sox went 1 for 17 with runners in scoring position. So honestly, I could say that was just the pitching matchup. Was the pitchers were really good. It was a really good pitching matchup, which is awesome. The game lasted 3 hours, 27 minutes. 37,930 people saw it at T-Mobile Park. All right, so the next game coming up is against the Rays, and that game is going to be exciting. It's the start of Ichiro weekend. I expect the Mariners to bring honor to Ichiro. Don't forget to take some time to follow me on my other platforms. You can follow me at the YouTubes, otherwise linked in my bio, or the Trapezoid Talks is the main YouTube channel. You can book me on Cameo at Sammy5436. Patreon and other paid services platforms are also Sammy5436. You can check me out on Instagram at Sammy54362 and Samantha P54361. And I'm on Twitter and Blue Sky, though I'm not very active there. But thank you for joining me for another video. Plenty more coming up in a moment on the Trapezoid Network.